We want to welcome you to the Milan No-Till Virtual Field Day and to the Tennessee Agribility Project. My name is Troy Duggar. I'm the project director for the Tennessee Agribility Project. And Joetta White, who is our Western Region Specialist, housed out of the Gibson office in West Tennessee, is our Western Region Specialist with Agribility. We're going to take just a few minutes to talk to you about some handy-dandy hand tools that you can use while doing some of the small jobs around your farm and around your home. I want to share with you before we get started, there are several books. I want to invite you to look at the agribility.org website, and there are a lot of resources there. If you look under the tab that says resources, there are quite a number of books that you can look at and that will help you. Some of the things I'm going to be talking about are going to be in one of those books. There's one called Back on the Farm, Back in the Saddle, that helps you work with your back. There's one on arthritis in agriculture. We're going to talk a little bit about arthritis in some of the things that I'm going to be looking at. And then the other one that I'm going to talk some from and take some of the points from is arthritis and gardening, especially when we look at some of the small tools that we will be working with. So gardening is something that's enjoyed by many, and I know Carter Keene is going to have a section on that for our Agribility Project as well. But a lot of people love gardening. Vegetable gardens, flower gardens, whatever that might be. And those activities are good for you. The exercise you can get, the things that you can do while you're outside. But you might have some limitations sometimes. And so some of the things that we're going to look at today will hopefully be of help to you. You may have some limits with your aches and pains or arthritis, the swelling of the joints that you may experience sometimes. And hopefully, again, some of these things that we have will be able to help you with some of those issues so that you don't have to give up something that you enjoy doing each and every day. Just quickly on something about a garden, if it's a vegetable garden or flower garden, just think about it before you get into it. Think about the location of your garden. Maybe you want it a little ways from your house so that you can walk out to it. Or maybe because of problems that you might have, you want it closer to your house because you're not having to walk so far. Think about your crops, what you want to plant, the flowers, what you want to grow, and then think about harvesting what you're going to do with all those things when everything is done. So we're going to have some tools and tips to help not only with arthritis, but with several other things that will help you in your work. We just want to think about the safest way possible to do some things, to minimize the effects on especially your back, your knees, your hips, waist, shoulders, hands, fingers. The safest way and the easiest way to do those things. We hear the term ergonomic tools, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And Joetta is going to show you some of those type things in just a minute or two about how those things are shaped to fit you, cause you to use less energy, but they still have a great impact in what in the tools and what they help you to do. These tools again should fit you, the size and the shape and the weight, and so that you can still be able to do the job that you want it to do. So we have just a couple of examples, especially when we look at the size of the equipment, especially about the handle of the equipment. You see the spade, we like to have a no-slip grip on it so that you can grab hold of it and have a good grip with it. And doing that, it helps you to do your job even better. If the grip's too small, that's not going to be good. If it's too large, then you've got a lot of time spent trying to make it fit your hand. You're also kind of wearing your hand out just trying to make it fit. The same time with other type of gardening tools as well. You want them where they don't slip. You want them to fit into your hand so that you can do the job and do it as well as you can with those things. You want to, in the small tools, you want to be able to keep your wrists straight. We want to not have as much impact to the wrist, and we want to let our arm, if you will, do the work that you want it to do, and we have less impact to the wrist. Some of the things might have a brace on it, kind of a forearm brace that you might have. Again, that keeps the arm straight, lets the arm do the work, and you keep the tension, you keep everything off of the wrist so that you do not hurt it as well. A lot of jobs in the garden are going to talk about, and other things that you do around the farm are going to cause you to sit and to kneel. If you're going to kneel, try not to do that, but that's hard. That's hard to do some jobs without kneeling. But if you're going to kneel and do some things, maybe use some knee pads. You even see a lot of plumbers coming into your house or doing those type of jobs. They're using knee pads to help cushion their knee, or other cushions that you can buy that come in a kind of a one-piece type piece of equipment. You can kneel on those, and some of those even have some handles to it that help you kind of get back up once you're finished in doing the job that you do. Specialty tools, power augers, things like that help you dig if you're doing flower gardening, and you can use that to help plant the bulbs in the fall, instead of you having to dig and cause strain on your arms and your shoulders and digging. You can use that power auger to help you with that. In the garden, if you've got something to help you harvest, maybe it's a little wagon type thing, something that's got wheels on it that you can pull, that you don't have all the weight that you're trying to carry those things from your garden. You also consider just briefly when you're outside doing your work that might be of help to you, just the weather conditions. Think about when you're going outside to do your work. If it's hot and humid as we're getting into summer now, think about the sun, protection from the sun as well. And we don't talk a lot about it sometimes, but just there are some things you can do for your body before you go out and work. Some exercises that you might think about and that you could do. These are exercises or stretches maybe to just help your legs, your back, and your shoulders, to kind of help you warm up before you go out and begin the job that you're going to do. We're not talking about a full-fledged workout. We're just talking about a few minutes of doing some type of exercise before you go out, some stretches that will help you once you get outside. Now, some of these can be done standing up, some of these can be done sitting down, but it just kind of gets your body ready to go out and do the job. I'm going to have an attempt to show you maybe a couple of these exercises that may be of help to you. One of them is just works the upper body, and that one would be you just cross your arms, and you may act like you're kind of mad at somebody, but you just cross your arms, and what you want to do then is just kind of look behind you like somebody's calling your name, but do it slowly. And you just twist the trunk, and you look over your shoulder and come back. And you just do that a few times on both sides. And you can already feel how it helps you with your trunk, even with your shoulders, and even with your arm. But you want to do them slowly. You don't want to jerk, because that causes problems in our back as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. Another one that just helps your hands is what's called a finger circle. And you just take your thumb and your forefinger, press them together, and then you just stretch your hand. And you do it with each of your fingers, in your middle finger and your thumb, press them together, and then stretch your hand. The ring finger the same way, and then stretch your hand. The little finger the same way, and stretch your hand. And you do that for both hands for a couple times, and you can just begin to feel how it helps to stretch those joints, how it helps to stretch your hand and your fingers, and kind of gets them ready to go out and do some things as well. One for your shoulders, a couple of ways to do this one is to just put your hands on your shoulders, and then you begin just to circle your elbows, like you're kind of trying to fly, but that's not very good. Kind of circle, you can circle them back, you can make larger circles that will help. And then you can do this exercise as well by sticking out your arms completely, all the way out, and doing the same way. And has effect on your shoulders, your upper part of your arms. And if you kind of just stretch your fingers out while you're doing it, kind of helps your hands and your fingers as well, that you can do that. Another one that you can do, and maybe just if I can step to the side here, is just one that's called with your ankle. You just balance on one foot, and then just with your ankle of your other leg, you just kind of move your ankle around. That just kind of helps your ankle and your foot to get ready for the jobs that you're going to be doing. So it's not a big workout. It's just something to kind of help your body to get ready as you go out, and helps you do your jobs even a little bit better. We talk a lot about working, and posture is a big thing. You know, it's hard to maybe have great posture when you're out trying to do your job and do your work. But if you're out and whatever you're doing, try to keep your back straight as you can, as much as you can while you're out working. Don't twist in the lower back. Don't do some quick turns because that's going to hurt your lower back and what you're doing there as well. Whatever the job, sometimes jobs get kind of monotonous in what you're doing, so don't stay in the same position for a very long period of time. Now that's going to be different for everybody. I'm not going to say it's going to be 15 minutes. It may be 5 or 10 minutes, but you might need to switch positions because you know how it is that when you sit for a long period of time and then you get up, then you're kind of sore, you're kind of stiff. So whatever jobs you might be doing, take a moment to shift positions so that you're not just in the same position each and every time. Lifting is another thing to keep in mind. Always kind of lift with your legs, with your hips, with your knees, not just bending over and jerking up with your back. We're guilty of that sometimes. We see something we need to pick up and we just try to bend. We just try to kind of bend forward, grab it, and we let the back do the work, and that's not good. We need to make sure that our legs and our knees are doing the lifting with that as well. Watering is something to think about, or other things that you're having to tote, buckets. You might need one hand free, and so that if you are using some handrails or something like that, you can do that with your free hand. But if you got kind of a heavy bucket, maybe think about splitting whatever the load is into 2 buckets. It'll help you be balanced as you walk along, and it can help you as you walk and as you move about. Also, again, to alternate the task that you're doing. And remember, above everything else, is to probably take breaks. Anytime you can maybe quit a job for a few minutes, take a break, shift positions in what you're doing, that's going to be helpful to your body as well. So all the things that you can do, you may be limited in some way, but if you work with that, get your body ready to go out into work, do those short exercises, and just kind of keep some things in mind as you go about your day's work. And just to be careful out there so that you can enjoy your gardening or whatever it might be that you're doing around your farm. And we think these things can help keep you safe then as well. Joetta's got several tools that can be of help too with some of the other jobs that you're doing. So we're going to let Joetta take over and look at some of the tools that can be helpful as well.
Hi, I'm Joetta White. I am the area specialist for the Tennessee AgriBiility program. That's a partner with UT Extension. I cover all of West Tennessee and half of Middle. And we work with agricultural producers, their family members, their employees who have physical challenges that might limit their farming, gardening tasks that they do every day. I'm just going to show you a few of the handy dandy tools that Troy mentioned earlier that we have that might help ease a little bit of your pain, or even if you don't have pain yet, it could alleviate those for in the future. So the first thing that I want to show you is the anti-vibration gloves. Now, I use these quite a bit. I use them on the push mower whenever I'm push mowing, whenever I'm weed eating, and this helps alleviate the swelling that I have that comes from using those tools. You can get these. I've even tried the biker's gloves that have the pads in them for anti-vibration, and they work just as well. But for the next day after using hand tools that have some type of vibration, and I don't use these, well, my hands tend to swell a little and have a little pain. But if I use these, then I can tell a great difference when I use these. So these are something you might want to check into. Even when driving the tractor and there's that vibration, the lawnmower, the riding lawnmower, they would help in those too. The next little handy dandy tool is foam pipe installation, and this comes in different sizes, and this can be used for different types of things. You can put them on your hand tools, like your gardening tools, and just tape them on there. It helps with the grip. The grip might be too small that you're using, and you want to make sure your tools fit your hand, so you can use the foam pipe installation. Also, I have used these on buckets whenever I'm carrying feed buckets. The the grip is very small on these handles, so you can put foam pipe insulation on the handles, and it makes that grip easier in your buckets. Also, I put these on. I have put these on my push mower on the handle. It makes the grip better when using those. So foam pipe insulation, you can purchase this anywhere, and again, it comes in different sizes. Can be a very handy dandy tool. Our next handy dandy tool, this is called the magnetic finger. And if you'll look, it can pick up nails, bolts. You can use it if you drop your bolts, if you're working on a motor or something and you have screws or bolts that drop down, you can reach down in there and it can get them magnetic. Or, let me swap hands because I'm left-handed. So you can also use the magnetic nail. If you can't grip your nail and you're fixing to hammer something, you can hold it and get your nail in place. Make sure you're a good hammer so you do not smash your finger. So I wanted to show you that. Also, these gloves, when using tools or anything, make sure you want to protect your hands as well. But especially if you're working with barbed wire, when you're putting up those barbed wire fences, it attacks your hands. It can be rough on your hands. So these are a type of gloves, and they do not catch in those pricklies. Also, I found they are good whenever you're checking like electric fences, and this time of year, those wild blackberry bushes, and they have thorns in them, and you need to get those away from the fences. These are good to take with you so that you can pull those out and you don't have to worry about stickers. I've had a lot of those this summer and I didn't have these available. Our next tool goes along with a magnetic finger, but if you have a hammer, you can make a magnetic on the end of your hammer so that it starts your nail for you. And then you could go ahead and hammer. And yes, my nail was crooked on that. But that's another way. If you have limitations, maybe if you've had an arm amputee or you may have had a stroke where you're not able to have use of both your arms, then this may be a way to, and you're still out there working, this may be a way that you can start your nail. The drill. The drill is a very useful tool. It can take nuts and bolts off. It can start your nails. It can start. You can put a auger on this. It's called an auger for gardening, and put this on there and start drilling your holes in your garden. Or if you got a little small fence post, you can start that. But this can alleviate you twisting. I don't have my wrench out here, but it alleviates the twisting that you're doing with your wrenches or your screwdrivers, and makes that pain in your wrist and in your hands. The drill. Of course, the drill, I've talked to different ones about using a drill and having arthritis and everything, and they say that it's still hard on them to use the drill. Some of them just bear the pain and go through it, and it's easier than using the wrenches, the screwdrivers. Some of them say they take a lot of ibuprofen and to get through it. But they still say the drill is very easy compared to using the wrenches and everything. This is a universal socket for your ratchet. This fits any type of bolt head that you have, and it helps you from if you working underneath something, a piece of equipment, and you have different types of bolts, nuts that you're having to take off, well, this alleviates you having to get up and down from and finding the right one. So you've got this universal socket, and it comes in different sizes as well, so it gets the bigger bolt heads as well. So, and it works just like a regular socket, but it fits, like I said, different types, sizes, to alleviate you having to get up and down to find. Okay, my last tool, I borrowed this from a friend. I was over at her house the other day, and she showed me her leaf blower. And this is lightweight, and is very lightweight, lighter than the one that I use at my house. This is battery operated as well, and it's just click it on, and it does a great job. Since we have had the pandemic, I've been working more on our family farm and using a lot of different tools and equipment, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and I've been cleaning out a lot of horse stalls here lately, and I have found that using the leaf blower cleans out those stalls quick. It gets the straw out, it gets the manure out, and I can, instead of having to use a shovel and a rake and everything, I just get the leaf blower and blow all of that out, and so we can put it in the manure spreader. But again, I am not advertising certain products or anything, but and I have seen these advertised on TV, and like I said, my friend had this the other day, and I fell in love with it, so she let me borrow it for the demonstration today. So one other handy dandy tool I forgot, they call this the Porta-Vise. I call it a third hand myself. You can clamp this on to in a table, a piece of equipment that's got a flat surface, and you can put whatever it is that you're working on, put it in the vise, and then you can work on it hands-free. Again, if you're limited in your mobility and your arm mobility, you're able to use this one-handed. So this is another handy-dandy tool. One other thing I want to mention, the stress ball. Again, it goes along with what Troy was talking about. I had a producer, I handed these out at a meeting last year, and you know, I don't always get feedback, but I saw him a few months earlier, and he said, I have been out working and my hands are swelling, and they hurt at the end of the day, and said, this was in my vehicle one day, and I just picked it up and I started using it, and said, used it, and I could tell a difference in my hands and how they felt. So just using a stress ball and squeezing it throughout the day helps as well. You can find a lot of these tools plus other tools on the AgriAbility website that Troy mentioned earlier. On agriability.org, it's called a toolbox, and a lot of resources in there for different types of farm work. I'll be glad for you to visit those. We welcome any questions, any comments, and please either contact Troy or myself, and we'll be glad to work with you. Y'all have a good day.